bowl practitioner. You can learn more about my sound bowls at thespiritedsoul.org. And I'm just going to play a little mini sound bath for everybody today. So if you feel called, close your eyes. Just take a couple nice deep breaths in and I'll get started.
Hi, beauties. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Chris Blum, for your amazing sound bath this morning. I love kicking off our Sunday mornings with that. Those beautiful, beautiful tones and your beautiful face. So thank you, thank you. Hey, ladies, let me just take a minute before we get started. I want to give some introductions. So those of us who have not heard about the Bhava Spiritual Mission, maybe you're new to this broadcast, or we are a digital church. We are here with the mission, if you will, of helping ourselves and you and each other move from fear to love and bring in this beautiful new earth, this beautiful new paradigm that we popped into this year. What an incredible year. I can't believe it's coming to a close already. It's just like blowing my mind. Like, oh my gosh, what's next? So that is what we're all about, is really helping to bring through divine spirit in a tangible, practical way to help people connect directly with the infinite through the modalities of psychic intuition, channeling, and mediumship. My name is Ingrid Turner. I'm the founder of the Bhava Spiritual Mission, and I run the school. So the school is designed to help spiritual leaders come together, hone in on their gifts, do that deeper healing work, and build a platform to take their spiritual message out into the world. It's really about supporting the next wave of spiritual leaders. That's what we're about. And Miss Yvonne Marie and Harmony Purdy are both graduates of the Bhava Leadership Program. They are out there doing this incredible work in their own way, in their own container, in their own platform. And I am so honored and happy and thrilled and all the things to have you both on today to share in Spirit's message with us. I'd like to give you an opportunity real quick to introduce yourself for people who don't know you. Yvonne, why don't you start?
I'm Yvonne Marie. I'm from Nevada City, California. I've been working with Ingrid for several years now, but I've been doing this work since I was very young. It's just now finally lined up in a way that's cohesive. I'm thrilled to be here, and hopefully we can give you some spirit juice, yumminess.
Oh, I'm convinced we're going to give this.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I'm happy about it. Thank you so much for joining on, Yvonne. Harmony.
Beautiful, Yvonne. Yes, I'm Harmony. I'm in Rough and Ready, California, which is close to both Ingrid and Yvonne, so we're all local. And I'm a Bhava minister, as you heard, and channel intuitive. And yeah, I've been working with Ingrid also for a number of years, and just really happy to be here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the format, and people are gonna get to know you both so much better after this hour because we go all the way in and get juicy and yummy. So here's what we do today. For those of you who are new, we're gonna go. I have channeled a message from Spirit today, and I work with a spirit guide named Monz, M-O-N-Z. If you've been following me around for any period of time, you'll be familiar with him. His messages are smattered all over social media. I refer to our spirit guides as the user-friendly interface with the divine. So what I am doing is connecting with divine consciousness by talking to a dude. That's for me, okay? I get there and I have a conversation. So what I do is I open myself up and I tune in. I get a visit from my guide and he dictates to me the message. So my job, unglorious as it is, to get out of the way and just dictate what he conveys to me. So, and then I write it down as precisely as I am able. So the tone, sometimes the verbiage, the language is going to be different than what I would typically use. It tends to come through a little more formal, I think I feel, but it's interesting. You'll kind of see, you'll hear me talk and then you'll hear me read the message and be like, yeah, that's not the same, right? So that's my job, to get out of the way. And then what I do is I give this message to Yvonne and Harmony, whoever's on to bring through this message with me. And they are able to sink in and expand on this message. So what's really powerful about these gatherings is that it's not just one person bringing through a message from Spirit. Spirit uses the lens of our perspective. So when we get together and I download this message, Yvonne backstage was already saying, wait, I got something here from yesterday. So she's got stuff she pulls through from Spirit that's going to expand on the message because of her lens of perspective. And Harmony is going to be able to bring through an expansion still of that message from her perspective. So it becomes a really powerful experience to build out on this message from Spirit. And what we do also is we like to invite you to come into the conversation as well. So as you're listening to the message from Spirit, as you're hearing us discuss this and expand on this, whatever you watching us today, whatever you're getting from Spirit, if you get a ping, if you have a question, if you have life experience you want to share, anything that bubbles up, we encourage you to share it in the comments because we actually want to bring your comment on and discuss with you this message and help expand on it even further. So please, let us know. And even if we're not able to bring on your comments and we can't get through all the comments all the time, know that your contribution to this discussion, even in the comments section, is going to be helpful for somebody today or somebody who comes and watches the replay. If you're feeling the nudge, the pull to contribute in any way to this conversation, to say anything, to chime in, it's important. Don't ever doubt the importance of, Spirit coming through you in whatever seemingly small way that is. You're here for a reason and you're here to contribute to this conversation. And if you just feel like you need to sit back and receive, then that's totally okay too. I just don't want people out there to be like, oh, it's dumb. I don't want to say anything. No, say it. Right. That's what we want to do. So once I've read, I'm going to ground us in, I'm going to read the message from Spirit. We're going to have a little discussion about it with Yvonne and Harmony. And then we're going to start to have an audience Q&A and we're going to bring on your questions. So again, we want to hear from you. And then after the fact, we'll have some announcements and then go ahead and wrap up with our Bhava song, which is like maybe my favorite part. So thank you so much. All right. So without further ado, so I feel like I'm in a class now. Like, does anybody have any questions? Just go. Okay. I teach a lot. All right. So let's all go ahead and ground in together. If you're able to, I want you to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel all of the energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly. You'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pull again in the root chakra and exhale into your root chakra. And I want to encourage you to keep your eyes closed while you're listening to this message, just to take out any distractions in your environment. I'm going to ask you to open your aura for me big and wide. And thank you for trusting me to be the conduit for Divine Spirit today. Thank you for trusting Yvonne and Harmony to be conduits for Divine Spirit today. And I don't want you to worry too much about remembering every single word of what you hear, but just to allow the energy to sink deeply into your being and to integrate fully, trusting that you will be able to recall whatever you need to recall when you need to recall it from this message today. Nothing remains hidden forever. Time has a certain dogged magic that reveals all truth and uncovers all lies, all secrets, all that is hidden. Those on your planet need not fear anything that still lingers in darkness. The magic of time has sped up and all is being revealed at a faster rate than ever before. And you can trust that the revelations you need will come when you are truly ready to transmute the dark to light. If you're in the dark now about anything, it is only because you are internally calibrating to be able to embrace a greater truth that will expand your energy into its next highest expression. Your only job is ever to draw your attention inward in love and your intention outward in love, riding the cyclical line of love again and again. Changing this world is a simple job indeed. Walk this earth with love. Breathe in presence, and the natural byproduct is love. The new earth is brought in on the backs of the individual. This is not a revolution of might, but a revolution of faith. The deeper you move into self-love, the greater the vibrational shift for the whole planet and out into the whole universe. All is surfacing, and in that surfacing, the darkness that has lingered will permanently recede. Secrets, betrayals, these energies cannot stand the light of day in this new earth. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Allow the energy of this message to drop more deeply into your being. Feel it fully. Align with it. And once again, we encourage your discussion, your comments, your experience, your questions. We thank you for joining in this sacred circle today. And I want to toss this over to the Bhava babes on screen here and see what comes up for you when you, I have to say, real quick, I was talking backstage about, I was talking with you both about sometimes my different experiences with channeling a message. And sometimes I'm so checked out and out of the way that it just comes through and I'm like, what happened? Like, is that charged to it? And other times I bring it through and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And today I was like, meh. And then I was like, whatever that kind of happens, I'm like, uh-oh, like, did I do that right? Even still, I still get that, like, did I do that right? But then I just read this message, like I was reading for the first time. I really have no recollection of channeling it. And I'm like, damn. So I'm just gonna have that whole experience. But anyway, bouncing over to you, Yvonne. Let's start with you, and tell me what that brings up for you. What's your expansion here?
Well, as I told you, I was writing about the same thing yesterday. And one of you can't make this up. One of the things that came to me is our fear of illuminating those dark corners of our mind, and how sticky that energy gets when we're staying out of the light, when we're afraid to shine that light in the corners and really see what we're hiding from ourselves. That's a huge step into self-love, self-compassion. It really is. It just illuminating those dark corners and getting out of your head, getting out of your fear, getting out of those voices that say, yeah, but it's her fault because she did this to me, blah, blah, blah. All that does is take you away from your integrity. It takes you away from your heart. It makes you step out of that faith, out of that love, and into a protective mode. I was talking to you girls, ladies, sorry, earlier about how the vibe, the energy has changed all around us. It's there's a lot of contraction going on. But as I watch and make eye contact with people, I see that they're hungry. They're hungry for normal. They're hungry for interaction. People in the grocery store are usually where I find a lot of people who are hungry for interaction or to be seen. But at the same time, they don't really want to be seen. There's just a whole odd dynamic going on. And I think the shadow is coming up for a lot of people.
Yeah. I love what you just said. What did you just say? It was so perfect. It was not being willing to face your fears is a betrayal of self-love, or he's probably said that. But that's beautiful. And you're right. This is a time for shining a light on those shadows. And you know what I think makes it so much easier? And this is the thing we were talking about. We get some juicy stuff backstage. But we not taking your BS personally. That's a big step. Like we were talking about my little competition thing. Somebody pointed out a little ego story I might have running because she was looking at my chart. My friend was looking at my chart, and I was like, no, I think I'm doing really good with that. But then, of course, like I am all about self-inquiry, and I'm sort of mulling and thinking into it. And then I remembered that over here on my screen, I can see all of the viewers we have on our live video and all the different channels we're on. And I realized that I had a little like competition thing running where I was like, okay, who's got the most viewers at any one time? Who's winning? Like what page is winning? And it made me laugh because I was like, oh, there it is, you know. But I think that I just want to apply that to what you said, because what you said was beautiful. That's one of the ways we move out of self-love is by not being willing to shine a light on our shadows and our fears and step into our fear and allow them to be seen and then ultimately recede. We got to be able to like laugh at our fears, laugh at our ego stories, laugh at the way that all of this kind of like makes us tight and small and defensive and like, you know, like competitive, if you will. You know? So I think that's really powerful that you bring that up. And just bringing some humor to the situation.
Oh my goodness!
I tell you, man, humor is an ego killer.
Yep,
that's juicy. And so I love that you were bringing that through yesterday. You described yourself as like out and writing things down and digging into all this energy. So look at that. Of course she was. Of course she was. So Harmony, let's bounce it over to you, honey.
Yeah.
What comes up for you from this message?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was just feeling, I was feeling my guide step forward as you were sharing the message, and I was just feeling like a hand on my heart and just really just dropping the energy into the body. And even if it's like intellectually we're having this conversation, just trying to get into feeling and that being really important right now. I was seeing this kind of like a huge like grid or like network like all over the planet, if you can imagine. And it's like it's all of us beings like on earth right now. And what they were showing me is like when one of us like lights up, when we go within, kind of like the message is saying, and we do that work of like facing our fears and releasing that energy, we light up. But that light like goes into these like pathways, almost like kind of a neural network, right, on the earth. And it affects everyone on the planet. And so when one of us lights up, when we do the work of shifting our vibration, our internal work, we're affecting the collective. And I was just getting this like huge reminder to just share with everyone like how powerful like individually we all are when we just go within and we do this internal work. And I was also just getting reminded to like share that if you're being drawn to like this messages, you're being drawn to like listen to us here right now talking, it's because you're a wayshower. It's because you're meant to do that work of like lighting up just by going within, and you're creating this like, it's like you're opening up that path by lighting it up, allowing others to do the same. And it's beautiful big work that we're doing.
Oh wow!
And
I know.
Oh my God,
I'm just gooey over here. Yeah, baby. Oh, I am so gooey. Oh, keep going.
Okay.
Keep spooling on. We're just going to listen to Harmony.
This is the Harmony.
And then the other part is like when you're talking about this shadow and what we're doing right now on like this massive scale when we're going within is we're releasing like these dense energies. As your message said, like we can't bring that energy to the new earth. So we're releasing these energies, and that's like facing the shadow, like Yvonne was saying. And what I was getting was it's not about getting rid of your shadow, because it's about integrating your shadow. And what I was seeing is almost like, I just want to like invite everybody to just like take a deep breath and like whatever you're feeling, like invite it in, whether it's feeling small, whether it's feeling insecure, let's say you're feeling anger, whatever it is. Just allow yourself to feel that in your body, like invite it in, like don't push it away, invite it in. And then just see that as a part of yourself. Maybe it's showing up as like a child self or whatever it's showing up as, and just sending that part of yourself like love. Like you could almost like, I want to like kind of rock myself and be like, I love you. Like I'm giving you that love. And that's what I was feeling, what Spirit was saying in your messaging room when they said about that self-love. Yeah. Giving the shadow self that love, like it integrates it, it sets it free, it transforms it. And that's how we're like releasing this dense energy and being those way showers for the new
right.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you reminded everybody that if you're listening to this message, whether it's live or the replay, you are a way shower, and your actions affect everyone in the collective. And that's why it is so important for the individual, for you watching today, to do whatever it takes to practice that radical self-love that you're talking about, Harmony, because that radiates out to every human being on the planet.
Absolutely.
And we are so powerful. And I feel like that is even more the case in this new earth. In this new earth, in this new energy, how we feel has an even greater impact than it ever did before. So thank you for that. Yes, you are the way showers. We are the way. Yummy. So reminding people of their power is hugely important. And Spirit keeps saying to me, like, this is really easy, guys. Like, this is not hard work. All you have to do is you. You don't have to work anything out here. We come from this paradigm of struggle and clawing and climbing and hard work. And we're just not in that energy anymore. Now it's about faith. A revolution of faith. When I read that just now from Spirit, I was like, oh, that's good. It's so true. The revolution is, I've seen like on Facebook meme or something that I'm recalling is like, this is spiritual revolution. It is, but really I like better the revolution of faith, or even the revolution of love. It's all about coming into self and giving that to yourself and radically loving every yummy, ugly, bitchy, joyful piece of yourself as it is right there, without having to improve it, without having to fix it. That's the work. That's the powerful work.
Absolutely.
Freaking yum. Let's talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about self-love practices, because that's what it's really about. The revolution is self-love. That's how we bring it to earth. So Yvonne, what are some self-love practices that you put into play every day? How do you move yourself from fear to love?
For me, it's a challenge. One of the ways I do it is by really getting quiet. I've found that just time on the mat with something that's giving me mantra, that just takes me way, way down and out of my head. And I find that that's kind of the issue. There's so many of us out there in our heads, worst case scenarioing. But I think this is a really good time to, as Harmony said, to feel into your body, to feel into just the energies of people around you, to be observant of your reactions even, because I know my reactions are occasionally heightened, especially in this environment. And it's given me a chance to really slow down, understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, understand why I feel what I feel, and then define what's ego, what's story, what fears are valid. You know? It's just been such a different time, and stepping out of the way. It seems like practice is more important than ever. Anything that gets you, and for me, it's on the mat, quiets my brain. Or writing quiets my brain. And I think that really getting to know yourself and bringing and finding out what gets you in that space, bringing that forward. Don't chastise yourself if you miss a day. It's that whole self-compassion thing is so important right now. And also just owning your spirituality, owning every part of it, owning your faith, owning when you step out of it, trusting that you'll come back into it the second you center yourself, ground yourself a bit. I think that's really important for everybody right now.
I agree. I love that you said like practice is paramount right now. Spiritual practice it's absolutely paramount. It's the thing that I use every day. I've got to put a structure, a ritual around it to move. I wake up in fear almost every day. Almost every day I wake up anxious. I wake up feeling the energies of, and every day my commitment, just like your commitment, is to move myself from fear to love. And that doesn't mean that I'm not compassionate with myself. Like you said, that's really important, but I am so committed that it's like you say, you're going to get back on track if you fall. And that's part of the power of our community too. We were having this discussion in our community group about spiritual practice and getting on spiritual practice. And what did the community do? They created an accountability platform for themselves. You know what? You're right. Like, let's call ourselves out. Let's do this. So I think that's gorgeous. And I think that calling yourself out that you do, I mean, you call it calling yourself out, Yvonne, but really being radically honest with yourself. Self-love, because once something is in the surface, like talked about, shining a light on our fears, on our shadows, and our stuff. Once the light is on it, then you can love it, and then harmony, you can integrate it, and you can become whole, and that is moving into the self-love.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
When you're starting your practice, whatever it is you're doing to ground in, to get out of your head, when you're stepping out of love and into fear, just remember whatever practice you're doing, it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
If you're sitting, being quiet and trying to ground yourself in, and the monkey mind starts coming up, I hear you. Push it away. I hear you. Push it away. Don't judge it as, I can't do this. I can't concentrate. I can't focus. You're learning to focus. You're learning to trust. And you're learning to be compassionate with yourself when you go ahead and sit down and practice, because it is a practice. Every time we stop, we center ourselves, we take that monkey mind and settle it down. It's a practice. It's going to be different every time. Don't beat yourself up.
Yep. And some days you're going to rock it, and some days not so much. And the trick, once again, if I may add, is don't take your BS personally.
Exactly.
Don't take it very personally. It is what it is. It's part of the human experience, the whole spectrum. Thank you for that. And yes, it's a practice, a practice, a practice. Harmony, darling, tell us about your moving from fear to love practices.
God, you guys have beautiful answers. I love them. The word that just like kept coming to me was just allowing. And I was just flashing back to myself, like this is probably just a week ago, going through some really dense energies and just feeling so much, and just allowing myself to feel what was coming up. So if that meant like I was making space for myself to cry, to let it out, like shake the body if you need to, rock the body, just allowing yourself to not push it away, to not like, say, I don't want to, this is uncomfortable, but to really allow it to come to the surface. And then the part that was coming up to me was like, we do a lot of somatic renewal in Bhava, and I'm sure you guys have all, talked about it here before, but really allowing what's coming up, because things are coming up for a reason, to be healed, to be seen. And seeing what that voice is in the body, like going, okay, I'm feeling this energy, like in my solar plexus or in my heart chakra, wherever you're feeling that kind of icky, uncomfortable energy, and seeing what it has to say. Because often what I found is when I, first of all, I'm allowing the energy, however it needs to express, and then starting to like, okay, now I'm ready to be like, what is this voice? What does it have to say to me? Because often our shadow selves need to speak something. Maybe they just need to be like witnessed and like heard.
Yeah.
But just giving it space, allowing yourself to have space, and then allowing. So
actually, we have talked about somatic renewal a little bit on here, but not everybody's going to know what you mean. Do you want to describe the process of somatic renewal and what that does for people?
Yeah, I would love to. So I've been just like diving into it more and more and finding it so powerful just for my own like internal work that I'm doing. But okay, so, and it can be really helpful when you have a facilitator, but you can also do it on your own. Yeah. So if you're in that space, and I just invite everybody to take a breath. It's really starting to tune in, not the mind, but the body. What do you feel like? The physical sensations in your body. And if you do start to slow down and quiet down, you'll feel something. You may feel your heart, your solar plexus, just as an example. And you tune into that energy, kind of going into it and allowing it to just open up. And we say, like what, as we're feeling this energy and you're getting quiet, you might say, okay, like solar plexus, that's what I'm feeling right now. What do you have to say to me? What's coming up? And you start to just listen, and maybe it's a voice, maybe it's a memory, and you allowing that stuff to integrate into your body, because it's allowing it to come to the surface and to, so it's first really just tuning into the sensations in the body versus going at it from an analytical mind place. It's really getting into feeling. Yeah. Describe it as.
Yeah. I think that's great. Like using the body as the bridge between the story. I like you talking about the stories a lot, Yvonne. I mean, ego, man. They will keep you out of your full experiences. Exactly. And it's using the body as kind of a bridge to get into the moment and the full experience of it. And that is truly shining a light on our shadows. It's not mentally looking at it. That does a little bit, but really shining the spotlight on it, like the big bright one, or like, the row spotlights, like on your shadow stuff. The somatic renewal process, bringing it into the body, really does that. And then from there, you can go down through the layers and really, really process and move it through. It's powerful work. You're very good at facilitating it, Harmony. You're very good at it. So it's really fun to hear you talk about that and hear about the people who've been working with you on it, and the incredible transformation that they've had, and working on your own. You can do this on your own. But the big stuff I find, like when it's because the more intense the emotional trauma, the more the mind wants to come in and create a story. So it's really helpful to have somebody that be like, okay, honey, that's a story. Good. Back into it, because your mind's like, nope. I feel that. But once you do, it literally takes a few minutes to really feel it, and then whoosh, you're through it. It's incredible. Exactly. Yes.
It is incredible. Gosh, just the work that we've done together. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of our Bhava babes who just moved away from us, but she is so happy. So we're so happy for her. She just posted a juicy shadow work comment that I want to throw up here. It's long. And it looks like I can't read it all on this screen, but let's see what we get. Shadow work is messy. Being spiritual is not about being positive all the time. It's about accepting what is and trying to understand that it is the hard challenges in our life, the shadow work, that is the catalyst to change. Without it, we would not get the most out of the human experience we asked for. Observing is not the same as experiencing pain, sadness, or fear. That's good. I want to discuss that. We have to have personal experience to grow. Dang. And then understanding that certain exchanges are meant to happen, whether it is ... and that's all they'll let me with that. But okay, there's something I want to pick out of there that I think is really kind of radical. We hear a lot about become the observer. And what Heather is saying, and I think this is really powerful, is she says, observing is not the same as experiencing pain, sadness, or fear. We have to have personal experience to grow. That is maybe one of the most powerful things I've been hit with in a long time. Discuss, Yvonne.
Yeah.
Bring up please.
That's a whole thing for me with the shadow. The personal experience comes up, but as you know, I really tried to be the woman in the bubble and meld my story and just let it melt all over me. You know, tell me it's a story. No. That's the truth. That came up for me over and over and over. And it's funny how that does that. It just takes us so far out of our integrity. But if we're really committed, I think it allows us to go to a place we would never be able to go without committing to it. We've all watched Heather just, she's blown our minds. The way I just can't even, you know, she went from this shy, kind of not understanding her spirituality, and she's just, you know, she is the lotus. I think it's beautiful when we can walk away from our trauma, see it as what was, see it as that experience, and then step fully into who we are. And that shadow doesn't go away. It's part of what keeps the scales in balance. It's taking the power away from the shadow, taking the power away from the story of the shadow, and coming at it from a neutral place. And I like to observe myself. We all know I like to do that. And when I watch myself start to ramp up, I stop, listen to the story that I'm playing, and then shine a light in all the dark corners. What's coming up for me? Where is this coming? Where is it hitting me in the body? Like Harmony said. It's a very interesting thing to me to watch yourself evolve in your spiritual journey just by digging in a little bit and taking the story out. Like you say, putting it on a shelf.
Yeah, that's my favorite line. Put it on the shelf. You can take that later if you want it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll wait to put it on the shelf. Harmony, what comes up for you, especially with this line? Observing is not the same as experiencing pain, sadness, or fear. We have to have personal experience to grow. Go ahead.
I love this, Heather. Awesome comment. Yeah, so good. What was coming up for me when I heard that was just being reminded that we are here to have the human experience.
Yeah, baby.
And that a big part of that is experiencing the shadow selves, is experiencing duality. And that without it, without these experiences that we go through, that contraction energy, we wouldn't expand.
Yeah.
Every contraction creates a new expansion. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here as beings, is to experience this. So it's not about, we just don't want to ever have shadow or negative experiences ever again, because they're the catalyst that cause us to grow and expand.
Yeah.
And I really love the part about saying, you know, not just being the observer, because that's saying like, I'm getting present into my human experience by really allowing, there's that word again, allowing ourselves to fully feel it and be present with our experiences.
Yes. I'm just gobsmacked, Heather. I'm like, yeah.
I know.
For me, it's like, sometimes there's a time and a place maybe for that detached observer view. Like maybe that's a place we need to be. Like, I'm not saying that's the wrong experience, but I do feel like there's an element of spiritual bypassing that can show up by like simply touch and observe your emotions. And it's like, but that's like what Heather said. We have to have personal experience to grow, to expand, to become fully who we are. That personal experience is the complete full body experience of whatever for us. And that is so powerful. And I have been in the place where I've been detached. And I felt really good about that. Like, oh, good. I can just observe it. I can just be with it. Most of the time, I'm in it. And you know what? That's okay. And there's a time and a place for both of it. And I think that Paulina, one of our other Bhava babes, has a follow-up comment. She says, there's a fine line between observing, detaching, and actually feeling the experience. I think you're absolutely right. And I think you got to trust when you have a commitment to divine spirit and a commitment to your own personal expansion and a commitment to living in partnership with spirit, you can trust that it's going to show up for you in the way that you need it to show up. And you can trust that the support is going to be there for you to help you be where you need to be with it. You know, we don't have to think too hard about like, okay, do I need to be detached right now? Or do I be in it right now? Like, it's going to show up how it needs to show up. And again, I'm just going to come back. That's the power of spiritual community, is when you have a community there to help hold you, guide you through this process. And that's why a facilitator for this work can be so powerful, especially when it's like, oh, Jeez. Oh, it's going all the way in. So that's gorgeous. Thank you for that, Heather. Kathy made a comment, Kathy Harris, and this is about, looks like going back to our self-love discussion, like how to move, like the practice moving from fear to love, sitting in silence, sitting in grace, being still, being open, being honest, being accepting, compassionate, humble, being grateful, being. I love this, Kathy. It is about being. And it's about being with whatever is coming up right there. I think we can tend to think of being as like, okay, nothing's going on. That's right. Human experience. It is being present with whatever is. And radical acceptance, that's a powerful one. Radically accepting what is going on in front of you. Because, and for me, radical acceptance is not about, okay, well, I guess it just is what it is, man. I'm like, there's nothing I can do about it, and just giving power away. No, radical acceptance is like, okay, I'm not fighting anything. I'm looking at it and accepting it fully. And with accepting that place fully, what is, then you can shift everything, because then you take your power back.
Yeah, I agree. I think that really feeling your feelings is very important. If you come at it from a love and light, I'm going to stay in that love and light. I don't want to go into the dark areas.
That's great.
Think you ever. Now, how do you get under your stories and get away from your own BS if you're staying in that? No, I want to be in love and light. One of my practices, when I get really, really upset or frustrated and I'm overwhelmed with emotion, I'll take a hot bath, light incense, a candle, whatever I have to sink in. And whatever's coming up, I allow it to come up. And usually I end up in the tub bawling and screaming because no one can hear it. And that's what I've been stuffing down. I've been stuffing it down, trying to stay in love and light, trying to stay positive. And for me, that just jams up the work.
Right.
It really clogs up the pipes. Whereas just getting that energy out, that frustration out, it's magic. I find it to be magical, and it doesn't have to be screaming in the tub.
No, it can be anything, any way that comes out. But I want to flip that on its head as well. And say that I have also experienced where it's easy to get stuck in only shadow work, where you're digging and digging and digging in your own shit, and you forget to get into gratitude. Not you specifically, but I mean, I've certainly experienced this, where you just dig and dig and dig, and you get really, really into just whatever's going on inside. And, that's why the practice of radical gratitude, I feel, is so important. Is like getting into gratitude for whatever's going on can help bring you up and understand what an actual crazy cool gift this experience is, even the shadow, even the hardest part of it. So, it's like, it's a pendulum, it swings, and the goal is to bring it to balance so that you're very comfortable with your shadow work, and whatever comes up, you be present with it and deal with it, and also stay in a state of expansion and love and light and gratitude, because that is moving from fear to love. So, Ian has a great comment. There are 3 parts to a full experience, he says. A trinity, if you will. I like it already. At any one moment, you can be the initiator, the recipient, or the observer. All these give you different perceptions, but they make up a full experience and understanding.
Oh, man. Ian?
Ian, one of our Bhava leaders, clearly for good reason. Thank you, darling. But yeah, it is. It's not either or, it's and. It's all of it. It's the whole mishmash is the human experience. And it's gorgeous. And you're going to have all the feels. And Spirit just keeps coming back to this one very simple truth. This one very simple job that we have. Move yourself from fear to love. Move yourself from fear to faith. That's it. That's the one job.
And just hear the way Ian said it. Like, it's a trinity. It's a balance. We're not trying to move one piece out. We're not trying to move another piece out. We're not trying to stay all in the love. We're not trying to work our shadow out.
Yeah.
For me, it's watching what happens when this trigger comes up and this response comes from it. And just the whole circle, not so much observing it, but yes, part of it's observing myself and laughing at the way reaction, what set me off, watching how I reacted and how sometimes my reaction is just overblown because of my emotion or the energies in the air. It's fascinating. Thank you for that, Ian. That balance is hard to find for some of us.
Yeah, I love hearing
everybody. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Harmony.
Okay. It's all good. Yeah, I love that, hearing it like a trinity, like as aspects of ourselves, and learning to just balance them is really beautiful. Thank you,
That is
Ian.
beautiful. Here's one of the best things ever. Love is the gig. Thank you, Renee. You're right. She has a tattoo. I have asked for a picture. Renee. Tattoo of love is the gig. And that's it. That's the bottom line, is love is the gig. And everything we experience is an expression of love. Spirit showed me one time. I got this message, and it was like, we are here in the physical body and the physical experience so that we can have all the different experiences of love. And it showed me these billions and billions and billions of little like slivers, like little slices, like in our divine form, as we are merged back with grace, we are the great infinite all one. You know, we are God consciousness. We experience love. It is just love. And in the physical experience, we slice it up. And we experience all these different little pieces of it, and everything is an expression of love. And I mean everything, even the most horrible things that come up in our world are in fact an expression of love. It can be like all the way on this side of the spectrum or all the way on that side of the spectrum, but that's why we're here. And so love truly is the gig. It's all an expression of love. How does that feel?
That is.
Well,
I love that she said that.
Go ahead.
I love that she said that love is the gig. Immediately my thought process went straight to the Beatles. Love is all there is.
Yes.
Love is all there is. It's like the whole string of the song.
Love, love, love.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, on that note, how do we feel, ladies? Do we feel complete? I suddenly kind of felt this like, oh, and there it is.
Yeah.
You ladies feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That was juicy. Thank you both so very much for coming on and contributing to this incredible sacred space. What a discussion. What a discussion. I feel all amped. Thank you, viewers today, for jumping on and sharing your perspective, sharing your hits, sharing your messages, sharing your questions. Loving you all so very much. So grateful. So we're going to be here again next week. Same time, same place, new players. Okay. And every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, rain or shine, we're here broadcasting over Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your energy. If you found this valuable, found this helpful, we would love to have you share this out with your friends and family you think would benefit from this message as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, give our little baby YouTube channel a subscribe. We would so appreciate that. And give our page a like, follow us around, see what we're up to. We got big things cooking. You know, we're a relatively new organization. We're only about 3 years old, and we got big things cooking. Yvonne is on the board of directors with our lovely Ian, who was on earlier. And we are meeting every week, and we are in some good juicy stuff. And Harmony's been around long enough and to see how things evolve and expand as we get together. So if you like this message and you like this energy and you're resonating with us, follow us around. We got things up, and we think you're going to like it, because we're really into it. So additionally, you know, we are an organization who gets out there and does the work, and we will always do the work, but financial contributions are always really helpful to the organization as well. There are hard costs to everything we do, even live streaming like this, doing it all on the internet. If you want to support us in a concrete way, we would welcome donations to the Bhava Spiritual Mission. We are a church, so your donations are tax deductible. Just follow that bit.ly link on the screen, and it's also in the description of the video. You can do a one-time donation, or you can set up a recurring monthly donation. Super helpful. We're here no matter what, but if you want to help out, we appreciate that so very much. And thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're really on fire with what we have to say today, and you've been following us around, and you're interested in exploring membership, please send me an email, Ingrid@bhavamission.org. We do have openings, and I'd love to have a chat with you, and the board would love to have a chat with you to see if there's a good fit for joining our spiritual community. Our community is tight-knit. We are really close. We are all accepting, all loving. There truly is no judgment in our community. We embrace the dogma of no dogma. This is about coming together for the good for ourselves, for each other, and for the whole planet. So this isn't about competition. This is about cooperation. And we are so committed to moving from fear into love and helping each other do that and bringing that out into the world. If that lights you up and lights your fire, send me an email. Let's talk. Let's see if there's something there. And finally, if you want to get a taste of what we're all about, a big part of our school is developing our intuition. So bringing through spirit through the modalities of energy healing and psychic work and mediumship and channeling. And we have a class every Wednesday where we practice this. And we would like to invite you to join us as a sitter so that we can practice on you. So you can get a reading, a connection with divine spirit, and we can practice our wares and expand our gifts and our abilities. And it's only $25 to join our class as a sitter and get a reading from really an extraordinary Bhava babe. The people who join our class, the way that we teach, people are able to expand and open very quickly. So even newbies tend to be, much more open than they think they will be. And it's pretty awesome to see them blow their own minds. It's like, our favorite thing ever, right, Yvonne?
Yes.
So it's a really cool experience to kind of see what we're about, to get yourself a reading or a healing, and help us out too. We super appreciate that because, the more energy we get to play with, the better we are at tapping into divine spirit and bringing it through for you and for the collective.
Can I just talk about that for 1 second?
Yeah, baby.
I have to say that I am blown away by the way our students show up during the Sitters program. Even the quote unquote newbies, they blow my mind. They really do. They blow my mind. And I've been working in this realm for over a decade, and we have some of the most gifted mediums and intuitives that I have ever had the pleasure to work with. So, boom, that.
Yeah, sure. So any of that, check the description on our video as well. The links are there if you have something that you want to connect with us on. And thank you again for jumping on, for joining us, for being a part of this virtual secret circle. So, and thank you, Yvonne, and thank you, Harmony. I love you so very much. Do you either have anything to add before we wrap it up?
Stay in love.
Stay in love. Love is the gig, right, Renee?
It is the gig.
Feel good, Harmony?
I feel good. Thank you for being here.
All right. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and kick us off and take it. Robin Harp is going to take us home with our Bhava song. So please stick around for that. It's just gorgeous. It was written from the heart and it's a Bhava song. So like, hello. So thank you all so much. I love you to death. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love, it's what we use to rise above the illusions of life are overcome by our life. Bhava means love. Spirits are awake again. When we all leave here today, we get to feel more enlightened. Yeah. Bhava means love. It's what we use to rise above the illusions of life. We overcome with our light. Bhava means love. Our love is Bhava. Our love is Bhava.